What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy.
You alright, bro?
And welcome back to another video on the channel. Now, as you know, the new dungeon has been released, and I have been grinding it so much. I literally have been playing the dungeon for over like 48 hours. I got like no sleep. I'm so dead right now. You might even be able to hear it in my voice right now. I have been playing this dungeon so long, just so I can help everybody else. My main question that was asked on the last video was tips and tricks on the new dungeon, because everybody is struggling on the new dungeon, which I completely understand. The dungeon is very difficult, like very difficult. This is probably one of the harder dungeons to do unless you're like really good at the game. Obviously until daily rewards or you get stuff for free, I understand that it would be a little bit easier then. But if you're wanting to play this dungeon for what it is, you only have AT gear, or you're playing with some people that just aren't that strong or nothing new that can really get through, I'm going to give you tips and tricks on how to beat this dungeon. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like, as well subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Seriously, it does mean the world to me, and we're really pushing for subs this year. You know, we're trying to hit 100k this year. Will it happen? I don't know, but I would really love it if you guys could just hit that sub button. But without further ado, so this dungeon is very hard, and if you do want to beat this, you are going to have some committed players, at least early game. You know, obviously it will get easier as time passes. However, if you guys are still new and you guys are still struggling with this dungeon, you guys will really need to try, and I do suggest getting a team organized, getting into a voice call, blah blah. When you don't have any new gear from the dungeon, I do suggest having 6 to 7 people. I want everybody being a DPS, except for one person being a tank / healer. But if you feel like you guys are dying a little bit too much and you guys do enough DPS, then switch to another healer. Have a healer and a tank. So when you get to the first boss, tank / healer should switch to 2 healing spells. There should be no taunt spells. However, I do recommend that when you guys are doing mobs, that the tank has a taunt spell as well as a heal spell. When you first go to the first boss, crystals will appear from the ground, and everybody should really get a free hit at the beginning. If not, you just got some really bad RNG. But usually everybody gets a free hit off the first boss right away. And as you can tell, as soon as you get in, people get crystals above their head. And as you may notice, I don't have a crystal above my head. We actually don't know the exact reasons why crystals pop above your head. We don't know if it's the first people there, the last people there, most people doing most damage. We don't actually know. However, if you do have a crystal, make sure you run over to the green circle safe zone. Obviously, as you can tell, I don't have a crystal above my head. So in that case, I'm not going to go to the green circle because I'm not going to take any damage. And in fact, I'm actually going to get ready for the next stage of the boss. And I'm going to get ready to grab one of the rocks so I can block the big blast attack that comes from the boss. Now, if everybody does have a crystal above their head, I do recommend that the tank / healer grabs the rock to block the blast attack from everybody. However, if you are in a better position, then please grab one of the rocks and block it in the front. Try being organized, telling everybody where everything is, where all the shields are, and where all the rocks are. In between everything, just make sure you're constantly attacking the boss. And there's these little orbs that follow some people. We call them whirlwinds, but you can call them whatever you want. If you do have one of these chasing you, I do suggest that you run away from the group, let it explode, then running back to the group. That way that you're not getting anybody cornered, or you're not attacking anybody with this attack and baiting people. I think the crystals that pop up from the ground shock about 6 times. So if you are counting, you can count these crystals about 6 times, and then you'll know that they'll go down. You'll be safe to walk over them. Just thought I would give a tip there, and I really hope this helps. This boss is very hard. I would say it's probably the hardest boss of the whole dungeon, but if you just pay attention, you focus up, you can really get this done. Going from the hallway into the second boss area, the tank should go and taunt and grab the first 2 groups and bring them back, and everybody should just kill them. Pretty simple. Now, when you guys are into the second boss room, we have tried many different ways of doing this, and I think the most successful way that we really do this is we get the tank to go up, taunt the first group of enemies to the right. I don't suggest going to the left. I do suggest going to the right. It's actually a quicker way of beating the dungeon. I don't really know why, but it does actually save time going right. Let your tank taunt the first set of group. That way everybody else can do DPS and attack them. When the group is about halfway health, the tank should move up to the next group and taunt them so that they're ready for the next group, and you just constantly keep going that way, and you'll be able to get to the second boss. So for the second boss, the boss will actually start spawning into the middle of the map. Everybody can actually get a free hit off of this. He just kind of not doing anything. And if you do have a group, I do suggest that you guys spread up during this part. The only reason why I say this is because attacks actually group up, so if there's multiple people around each other, you're actually going to be doing more damage than you are saving anything, because you're going to get more attacks on you and everybody around you, and it's going to be extremely more hard to dodge. So first thing is you guys should all be spread apart, and if you do have 2 healers, the 2 healers should try and be on opposite sides to try and heal everybody. The tank should also move over into having 2 healing spells. Whenever there is a boss, the tank who has taunt should equip 2 healing spells, and every time that you guys are fighting mobs, switch back to a tank. Anyways, this boss attacks kind of have lines, they also have orbs, and they also have random stun tags. Now, that is probably the worst part of this whole dungeon. There's a big RNG thing to this boss, so there's not too much I can really say with this one, but I do suggest going left or right. Depending on how the lines go, lines will come up and they will shift either left or right. You should follow that. You should try and be in the middle of them all. If you can't, I mean, there's nothing really much you can do. And when you're running away from the lines, you should be using a speed spell because it will catch up to you. And you need to dodge these circles. Now, these circles are very RNG and there's not much I can really say. However, I have noticed that if you zigzag randomly, you have a better chance of dodging it. So if you have time to just kind of run around, then I do suggest that you kind of like zigzag a little bit to dodge these, and constantly just keep moving. The orbs that also shoot some lines at you don't actually do anything if you're constantly moving, so you don't really have to worry about it, as well as you're not grouped up. Past that, you just attack the boss, man. Easy peasy. Now on to the final boss, Enchanted Forest Dragon. By the way, love this boss, one of my favorite bosses. This boss is actually super easy. If you are capable of beating volcanic chambers without a breeze, then this should be really easy to you. If you don't struggle with the AT second boss, this should also be really easy for you. Anyways, you should wait for your whole team to get up before you start this boss. Trust me, everybody should run up and they should all attack the boss at the same time. You all get a free hit, which is super nice that pretty much all bosses, they give you a free hit right away. Past that, you guys need to spread out. Seriously, spread out. This is the biggest tip I can give you for the second boss, is spread out. The boss will randomly choose somebody. I think it's somebody who's doing most damage. I'm not 100%. It might be completely random. However, he will shoot lines at you. So no matter what, fighting this boss, make sure you're moving left and right to the boss rather than forwards and back to the boss, because he will shoot at you and the only way to dodge is by moving left or right. And then he will also do a checkered pattern. This is the same thing if you're very used to this pattern. We've seen this pattern on many bosses. Super easy and simple. There's not much I can say about this one. Just checkered pattern. Just make sure you don't get hit by it. Now, the hardest part about this boss is these circles. So the boss will shoot these circle flames and they'll be onto the ground and they'll stay there for about, like, I don't know, I think it's like 10 seconds or something, maybe less. And they will stay there on the ground, so you have to make sure that you dodge those. But the main concern is the white circles around your body. If you have white circles around your body, or you see a white circle around somebody else's body, do not touch them. If you touch another player, everybody dies. There's a big chance that multiple people die. It causes an explosion that will kill a lot of people. You cannot be touching each other, and this is why I say that you guys should separate when you're on this boss, because you don't want to be close to each other. It will ruin it, and everybody will die, and you'll lose like 30 seconds instantly. It's super annoying. So just please, if you do have a team, just make sure you guys know to keep away from each other, and if you do get one of these circles on you, that you should be running away from your team rather than towards the team. Anyways, I think that's all I can really say to you. Any other tips that I can really say is some mobs are extremely annoying. If you're constantly moving with the red mushrooms, they can't attack you. With the spear guys, you just have to go up to them, move to the left, and you're done. The mobs aren't really that hard, especially if you have a tank, you should be good. Now I'm super tired and this probably made no sense at all, but I really hope that this tips and trick and guide kind of helped. And again, I just want to say I can't stress it enough. This is a very hard dungeon, so don't be discouraged if you don't get it. This dungeon literally took me 8 hours to beat, so don't beat yourself over if you aren't beating this dungeon. But yes, I'm hoping that this will help. I was going to do a little bit more editing with this video. However, I have a lot of things I gotta do. So I really hope that this works and it does help you guys. If you guys have any more questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments and I will comment down below. I go through all my comments. Seriously, I go through every single comment that I have on every single video. Even if there's hundreds of them, I still go through them. So if you do have a question, please let me know down in the comments. and I will reply to you as quick as I can. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.